All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. We definitely appreciate the support, and we appreciate you guys watching. Yes, I'm live again. This is the second live stream that I do today, and essentially because I'm having a great time, and, you know, I feel like doing videos. That's just how it is, right? Nothing too much to say other than I feel like doing videos. If you're in the comments, let me know in the comment section below. And I wanted to talk about this topic because this is something that is kind of interesting. You know, being in the military for so long, being in the military for quite some time, you know, 11 and a half years, several combat deployments. You know, I kind of have some opinions about this, and I kind of feel that I could share some opinions. So here is the deal with this. And before I get into anything, let me give a shout out to a couple of guys out there in the comment section below. I like to see some of those guys here. We have David Wicks is in the house. What's going on, man? Semper Fi. Pastor Chow is in the house as well. Good to see you here, sir. Your input is always great. We got Phil in the house. We got Owens. We got Truck in the house as well. We appreciate your support, and thank you so much to a lot of you guys. Don Quixote, you know, it's in the house too. And we definitely appreciate you guys' support. So definitely like, subscribe, stay tuned. We got a lot of videos coming up. If you want to be a patron of the channel, you definitely can do that as well. This kind of videos are really trouble for YouTube, so I'm sure they would demonetize this kind of video. So your support is always great. And check it out. Let me get back in camera right here. I wanted to share something in a different way, and I wanted to share my opinions differently, kind of give you a little bit of feedback on this, and kind of tell you a couple of things. First of all, I think this guy is an issue. You know, let me get my notes right here. Yeah, so I feel that this guy is definitely an issue that the United States is dealing with. I feel that he has been an issue for years and years to come. I mean, this is something that President Trump just got as, you know, becoming a president. He has to deal with this situation. You know, his grandfather was in control at one point, then his father was in control, now he's in control, and he's definitely pushing, he is pushing a lot of buttons that he shouldn't push, right? And there's a lot of conversation here in the internet. You know, CNN got the things that they say, which CNN is the most horrible network in the entire planet. Probably they do a lot of stuff. Fox News say a lot of stuff as well. But there's a lot of conversation. You know, definitely a lot of conversation. But we most agree that this guy is an issue. He's an issue not only to this country, he's an issue to the entire planet. He's continued to refuse to comply with American or you know, with things that we're telling him to do. He refused to comply with everything, right? And it's just an issue. I mean, at this point, he's trying to test some missiles that is going to fly, most likely it's going to be flying over Japan. And obviously, Japan doesn't want to deal with that. Japan is, you know, is a big no-no. So this guy is an issue. And he reminds me of Fidel Castro. That's kind of how he reminds me of. And I got to tell you guys, you know, I was born in a communist country. You know, I came when I was 14 years old to the United States. So I'm kind of aware what it is to live in a country like that. I'm kind of aware what it is to live in a country that is closed. You know, there's no news. There's nothing. So this guy reminds me of Fidel Castro a lot. This guy is a dictator. You know, he's known from killing and abusing his people or stealing his people. So this guy is an issue. Totally get that. And I totally agree with the fact that he's an issue. And just recently, you know, the UN is going on, and President Trump spoke in the UN. And let me share. Actually, you know what? Let me share what he said right here. I kind of queued it up for you guys if I didn't erase it. And yeah, it's oh wow, I took it off. That's horrible. But yeah, this guy is totally an issue. And to tell you the truth, I just hate it. I hate what's going on. And I hate everything about this guy. Give me a quick second right here. I can't believe I erased this thing that I had set up for you guys to see. But we have to deal with this situation. But one thing that is like really kind of upsetting me and kind of like saying, well, you know what, maybe it's not really such a good deal is the whole name calling. I am not digging, and I'm setting this up right here for you guys. I am not digging the name calling. I really not digging that. And I'm going to give you some reasons why. But before, let's take a look at this for you guys. And let's take a look at this video very, very quick first.
No nation on earth has an interest in seeing this band of criminals arm itself with nuclear weapons and missiles. The United States has great strength and patience, but if it is forced to defend itself or its allies, we will have no choice but to totally destroy North Korea. Rocket Man is on a suicide mission for himself and for his regime.
Now, what do you guys think about that? Put it in the comment section. But again, you know, I'm in total agreement with there. This guy is an issue, and truly, he is in a suicide mission. And I talked to this with a couple of guys at work, and a couple of guys were like, "Well, what do you think? You think we could do it? You think we cannot do it?" That's not even a question. You know, that's not even a question. We will go there and destroy him, and he will be a thing of the past, right? I totally get that. And again, that's not even a question. I mean, he remind me of a little dog that we used to have, little Yorkie dog that used to bark a lot. But overall, he's nothing to us. I mean, if we really have to, we will go there and destroy him, and that's it. That's the end of that. But now, here's the thing that is kind of want to address to you guys, because it's kind of interesting, but there's a lot of name calling. It's a lot of name calling. And if it's one thing that I would say about the president, is that even though I really think that he wants the best for the country, no doubt about that. I really think that he wants what's going to be the best for the United States. He's going to put this country first, and he's not playing around with that. He's like straight to the point. I really don't like to see the whole name calling, and I really don't want to make it seem personal. You know, there's a lot of news already reporting that it's getting personal. Kim went into some type of statement, and he started to attacking President Trump. And again, you know, there's a lot of personal stuff, and it kind of sucks when it comes to that, because this is not personal. You know, again, this is not a personal thing. This is strictly pretty much business. You know, we are telling him, hey, you know what? There's some things that you should not do. You know, you are a threat to this planet. You are a threat to the country. You are a threat in general. So we don't want you to do this. But it shouldn't get to that point where it gets personal, because again, you know, the whole name calling and things like that, to me, is getting a little bit personal. And here's the reality. The reality is going to be simple. Military people and their families are the one that suffer. And I said this in the past, when we think about combat, when we think about war, when we think about declaring war in a different country, when we think to go over there and do all this crazy stuff, typically who's gonna suffer is gonna be the military. Our boys do a great job, but they are gonna be the ones suffering. They're gonna be the one going there. They're gonna be the one kicking doors, seeking the enemy, destroying the enemy, and the rest of the country is gonna be messing around in Facebook. That's what they're gonna be doing, you know, going on Facebook and still fighting and yada yada yada, arguing and all this stuff, right? So we got to be really careful, because like I say, our military is not a simple thing about just, you know, getting into an argument, making it personal, and then go over there and fight, right? There's going to be people that are going to die. There's going to be people that are going to get killed. There's going to be families that are going to be destroyed out of this one. There's going to be military guys that are going to be missing arms. There's going to be military guys that are going to be missing legs. Guys with PTSD. We got 22 veterans last time I checked that died because PTSD, right? They commit suicide and things like that. So the question here is that if it has to be done, it got to be done. You know, if it has to be done, it has to be done. If we have to go there and take care of business, we have to go there and take care of business. But let's not make it personal. That's the point that I'm trying to make here, because just like Gregory is saying, war is never pretty. This is not pretty. This is going to be a really bad situation. So let's not make this personal, name callings and things like that. You know what? I think that needs to be out of the plans. You know, it's going to be simple. There are some things that you need to comply. The fact that you have nuclear bombs and you're trying to test all these bombs all across Japan and you know, all these places is a no-go. If you continue to do it, then there will be repercussions, and that's it. But here's the thing. Here's the thing that I would say, though. Here's the thing that I would say. This has to be the last resort. And I said this many different times. This got to be the last resort. This cannot be something that we do on personal feelings. And that's kind of why, you know, I kind of like try to kind of like think about this. This is not about personal feelings. Has to be a last resort. So we need to take that pride, that men pride, because I feel like the men pride is getting in the way. I feel that the president and I feel like this guy, no career, are getting into a macho fight. You know, who's the bigger guy? You know, calling each other names over the UN briefing, calling each other names over tweets or whatever. I feel that it's becoming a pride thing, and that's a no-go to me. Again, if we have to go, we go. But keep in mind that this is not a macho fight. Who's going to be the biggest man? You know, who's going to be the biggest guy here arguing? Who's going to win? I just don't feel that is the right approach. I feel that it has to be done. It has to be done, but it has to be done for the right reasons. Now, the last thing that I'm going to say, and this is something that I've been saying for quite some time. Oh, by the way, no more Coke Zero. Now they got this Coke Zero Sugar. What is the deal with that? I used to love Coke Zero. Now, I had a really good point that I was going to make about this. But, again, you know, it has to be... Oh, here's the last point that I'm going to make. And I said this. I have said this for so long by now. I mean, it's ridiculous how many times I have said this. I really feel that the UN needs to step up. And I really feel the president should tell the UN that they need to support the country, in not only in like, I vote for you, more into like, I provide operations in combat places. I mean, again, you know, somebody just mentioned Afghanistan. There's no reason why. There's totally not a reason why we need to go into a different country where we are conducting operations in Afghanistan. Totally not a reason. We cannot do everything. We really cannot do everything, you know. So I really feel that the president should push the UN to take care of business in some parts. Again, you know, if we need to go to one place, we're going to go to different places. It is what it is. But I really feel that the UN should step up and take care of business. I am tired, me personally. Let me know how some of you guys feel in the comment section below. But I'm tired of being like the savior of the entire planet. I really am. I feel that the UN should conduct business. The UN should put a group together, and the UN should do operations in different countries. I mean, we cannot be, you know, taking operations in Syria, conducting operation in Afghanistan, and possibly fighting the Russians, and now going to North Korea. I mean, at one point, the UN needs to step up and be somebody, the British, whoever, you know, and be like, hey, you know what? We're going to take care. We're going to grab this one, and we're going to take care of that situation, right? We're going to go and take care, you know, maybe 2-3 countries, excuse me, 2-3 countries are going to deal with North Korea, right? We're supposed to be a force, a group of people that are together. So, yeah, I really feel that that's just how it goes, you know, because again, you know, I always feel that we are the only one taking care of business, and there's a whole group of countries. I think it was over 100, 160 or 130, I don't even know, people there. We are supposed to be, you know, together as a community or committed. And some of those countries need to do something. And what typically happens is that we have to do everything and they support us. So I feel that they should do something and we should support them in some kind of way, you know. So that's how I feel. You know, let me know what you think in the comment. Let me check out some of those comments right here But again, you know, I'm definitely not the smartest guy when it comes to this. I'm definitely not the dude with a ton of information. You definitely go ahead and check out your own sources. But I'm just speaking from experience. I'm speaking from being, you know, being in combat and being and knowing our military, how they're doing, how they're taking care of each other. The boys are tired. You know, this thing started back in 2001 with Afghanistan, 2003 Iraq. I mean, 2010 we did the biggest putsch in Afghanistan. It's 2017. We're talking about 16 years. You know, we're talking about, somebody just said it, David Wicks, $20 trillion in debt. We're talking about 22 veterans a day killing themselves. We're talking about with the VA having veterans die because they don't even make it to the veterans because they run out of time. You know, they can't even keep up with the health of veterans. You know, we're talking about a lot of situation. We're talking about a different terrain. You know, no career is not like the current operations like Afghanistan. So we're jumping into a different terrain. It requires different training. It requires different gear. It requires different everything. So we're talking about a lot of different things, and it's always like the United States, what are we going to be doing? You know, so that's why I feel that other countries should step up. And I said this in the past many different times. And again, you know, the name calling is not necessary. You know, the whole, even though it's kind of funny in a way, you know, Rocket Man on a suicide mission. Yes, he is in a suicide mission. If he mess with us, we're just gonna go there and destroy him, and it won't be, that's it. His whole dynasty of grandfather, father, now him is done, because Marines will show up there. You know, our boys are really good. Army, you know, Navy, you know, all the guys. Air Force, let me not forget the Air Force. Air Force, Coast Guards too. And we would destroy the place, and boom, it's done. But again, you know, it's too much. So I really feel that this should be done something that is not personal. This is business. At the same time, the men macho pride thing should not be part of this. And at the same time, the UN should be taking care of business as well. That's just how I feel. Let me look at some of those comments right here. I think the Haw says something. Let's see. All right. K9 says, if you don't want PTSD, I'm assuming, and vet killing themselves, start word. Man, you know what? I totally get it, dude. I wish we would be in a place where we just love each other and take care of each other and help each other. Actually, that was what God intended this place to be. You know, people talk about God and say, well, I can't believe God allowed this to be done. He actually created a place that was perfect, where love, it was going to be there. Everything was going to be provided. You know, food was there. Animals were there to eat. I mean, we didn't even have to do anything. All we had to do was worship God and grab our fruits and eat it and have a great life. But you know what happened? We messed it up. And that's just how it is. Red Snail says, do you work with Afghani forces during the time of service? Yes, we did. We worked with a lot of them. It was kind of interesting. I actually went on patrols where those guys were pretty much holding the same guns we were holding. And that's kind of weird when, you know, Afghani soldiers have the same guns that we have. Slept like shoulder to shoulder with Afghani soldiers in 2010. And it always gave me that creep out, you know, because you know how it is. You know, you really can't trust them because, you know, they may turn around and kill you. Because whatever, you know, something happens. So it was an interesting place to be, and you know, it sucks. Gregory said, we need China support to deal with North Korea. We do. There is some stuff that they agreed to just recently. I saw in the news something to do with the whole financial situation, putting some type of something on the banking system or something like that. Hopefully they follow through, and hopefully it gets better. Hoss V11 said, just don't ask Obama. Yeah, no doubt. And again, guys, this is not an issue with Trump. We got to remember this. He walked into this issue. This guy has been an issue for years and years, probably before I was born, because his grandfather was in control, then his father, and then him. I mean, he's not elected like President Trump was. He came into control because he's a dictator. And I kind of relate that just for living in Cuba and Fidel Castro and stuff like that. Pastor Child said it's time to stop financially support countries who don't support us. Yeah, that's a very good point. We constantly helping people. We constantly helping a lot of guys. And if you don't support us, putting a skin in the game, maybe we shouldn't support you. And I kind of like that because everyone says, well, we help you out, but it's not like we help you out. It's like, do you have a skin in the game? I tell my oldest son, I told him the other day, you know what? Jesus says, I love you, and he died for you. So he wasn't playing around. He has skin in the game. So he's not just telling you, you know what, I love you, but if you need $20, don't call. No. Sometimes you have to have people that really support you, that have skin in the game. People that are your friends are guys that will be there for you when the time happening, and they actually has skin in the game. I don't know if you guys get that analogy or not, but that's just how I run. Yeah, David Witt has a very good point. He says everybody should question their belief and question why they believe with more information. It's crazy because Pastor Mike always say, write stuff down, go and store it yourself. But yeah, that comes for like a multiple amount of things. Just go out there and do your research. You know what I'm saying? Just don't believe everybody that tells you something. Gregory said, Jarhead, you say sheriff force. I probably did. You gotta love the accent. All right, let's see. Gregory said, when I was in Desert Storm, we had over 30 countries with us. Yeah, man. And you know what? In Afghanistan, we had a bunch of countries with us too. But I typically, I don't know how it was back then, but typically we had guys that helped out a little bit. But it wasn't like they really did a crazy. I mean, there was 1 or 2 countries that had like areas of operations that they took over and they were conducting like real missions. But there were a lot of countries that were there just to provide security at a specific base. I guess that kind of helps out a lot too. But it's different when you're out there seeking out and destroying the enemy. I mean, versus being in a secure place that has nice food and you just standing guard in a tower. I'm talking about more like, hey, you know what, support us by covering maybe half of the country and actually do operations. The British were the only guys that I saw actually doing a lot of stuff. They were actually doing a lot of operations. So let's see. Carrier said North Korea has been building up their ballistic missiles for 60 years. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. I mean, this guy is definitely an issue, Let's see. Kind of looking at some of your comments right there. If you got comments, put it in the comment section below. And I'm gonna talk about it. You gotta understand too, the people of Korea. If I could picture the people of Korea, North Korea, I would think about like the people of Cuba. What Fidel Castro did, which I'm pretty sure this is how this guy did it, was that Fidel Castro closed the borders, right? No one was able to go in. No one was able to come out a lot of times unless you jump in a raft and escape the country, right? But what he did was that he closed everything, and then he brainwashed the kids, right? I went to school in Cuba when I was a little kid. When I came to the United States, I was 14 years old, right? And I went straight to high school. But what he did was that he brainwashed the children. And since you are a little kid and preschool or whatever, first grade, second grade, they tell you about the revolution. They tell you about Fidel Castro and his high revolution where he destroyed the United States, the imperial of the United States, and they tell you how bad the United States is and how they are killers and they kill this and they do this. And as you grow up in your life, you tend to believe that. So when you turn into 17, 18, 19 years old, you are pretty much a radical. You believe in communists. You believe that communist is the only way. And you believe that the United States is the evil empire that will take over the entire planet. And you just want to fight, right? And that's kind of what I'm imagining that this guy is doing. I mean, there's no communication out there. He keeps his people very close. There's a lot of abuse. There's a lot of stealing. He's a dictator, so he owns everything. So I'm assuming that they do, and again, I'm just assuming, but I'm sure that they have the same strategy. And if you see the UN, the countries that support each other are North Korea, Cuba, Venezuela, that is a communist country, as well, Iran, and countries like that have communist belief. So, it's just crazy. It's just crazy what they do, but that's how they do it. So, let me see some of the comments. I apologize. Comments are coming in pretty quick, but it is what it is. If I miss your comment, I'm sorry. My buddy Steve Prince is in the house. Big shout out to him, sir. Good to see you here. Me and Prince served in the Marine Corps together. Both staff sergeants retired, and he's an awesome dude. I keep telling him to move over here. You need to move over here. I'm going to tell you now on YouTube. Move over here so we could go to church together, and we could go and spend, I don't know, weekends and go to eat and get together with the family. Prince is an awesome dude. Man, what an awesome dude. I miss you, man. I miss you. He needs to move back to Florida. He lives in Hawaii right now. So, but yeah. Appreciate the support. Yeah, continue to, if you like this type of videos, definitely click like. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about this. This video is going to process, and you could come down to the topics. To the comment and put some comments right there. Kid Knight says no career isn't the enemy. They have done nothing to me. Okay, I can see you saying that, man. I can see how you could have that belief. Truly, right now they haven't done anything to you, but it takes more than that. I know you disagree with this topic, and it's cool. You always keep it polite here, so it's all good. But anyways, let me see some of the last comments here before I cut this off. Do you serve with Army guys in Iraq? Gregory said, did I serve with Army guys in Iraq? Not necessarily, man. I went to school. I went to for Leonard Wood, non-lethal weapons instructor course, and I went to anti-terrorist force protection level 2, and I went to several courses with the Army. I actually got tased. The video here in the channel that I have getting tased, I was getting tased with a staff sergeant in the Army. We both did the tasing thing, and but I never served with Army guys directly, but I saw them all the time, man. You know how it is. You go to a base and you see the guys there. You talk to them, and you always have a good time with those guys. Plus, we're Marines, man, so you know how it is. Just kidding. But let's see. Ski01 say, I don't think there is anything wrong with letting Rocket Man know we will destroy him if he attack us. No doubt about that, man. And I think that's definitely a good point. I don't. If you go back and you watch the entire video, that wasn't not my intent to say. All I say is not to make it personal and not to be like a macho man fight. Obviously, strong words got to be used, and we have to communicate what we're gonna do, and that's just how it is. If you don't comply to what we say or what we decide to do, there will be repercussions, and I totally get that. Christine say, I'm hoping the U.S. evacuates U.S. citizen from North Korea before taking action. I definitely do too. Obviously this is not like a 1, 2, 3 thing. There will be a lot of stuff going on. So yeah, there will definitely will. All right, so camera here is about 7%, so it's about to expire. It's about to die. I gotta put the camera on to charge. But I appreciate the support. I appreciate everybody watching. You guys are great. If you like this type of videos, definitely click like. Stay subscribed, because we got a lot of videos coming up, guys. I really enjoy doing this, and I hope you guys like this kind of videos. If you guys like them, just definitely click that like. If you don't like it, let me know in the comment section too. I'm always looking for feedback, and I always appreciate that. And as always, guys, God is in control.